I'm going to be setting up and moving my electric fence today. So the first thing that I did is I went ahead and took my line trimmer and trimmed out an area roughly the length of, basically a square area, roughly the perimeter length of the fence I'm going to be using here. Because you don't want the tall grass growing up along the electric, because what will happen is it'll constantly trigger the electric, which will eventually burn the battery out. Second step is to grab your bundle of posts and then shake out the fencing and then start from the first one of the end posts and just toss it out, then walk backwards and then drop out the next post, drop out the next post, drop out the next post. The next thing you need to do is go ahead and set up your end post, your first post of the fencing, and it's just a step in post. And for your end one, you're also going to need some support. So these are fiberglass step in posts. You can't use metal. You've got to use these fiberglass posts. So you step these in. This is going to help to give the end post some stability. And then I'll usually just take the top rung here and just tie a little bow tie here. Doesn't have to be anything special, whatever sort of knot you want. I just tie it like I do with shoelaces. So that's pretty sturdy. When you're doing the step-in post, it's important that you have posts nice and taut. So otherwise that's going to sag really, really bad. But other than that, it's pretty simple. Just pull it tight and then just push it in the ground. Be careful, I usually take it nice and easy, because if you hit something hard, you could conceivably bend it, which you don't want to do. But pretty simple. And then when you get to a corner and you need some extra support, you just need to use one of those extra step-in support posts. So the fence is, for the most part, set up, and that, to be honest with you, that's definitely the most time-consumptive, most difficult part. If your soil is relatively soft, it goes really easy. If you've got some hard soil, you might have to, if I get some really hard soil, occasionally I have to use like a hammer and just lightly tap on the spikes so they get into the ground, because otherwise you're constantly bending the posts as you're trying to push them in. But if the soil is relatively soft and good, it goes in really, really easy. Now I went ahead and left the last two posts undone, so that way I can roll the chickens' coop in, I can get them in, and then I'll shut them out, and then we'll turn the electric on. But I went ahead and moved all the chicken waterers in their coop, and then we went ahead and just picked the chickens up and just put them into the new pasture. Now, if you've got a lot of chickens, you might want to wait till right before dark to do it, and then they'll just, so you can move the coop, and then they'll automatically go to the next pasture without you having to do too much to herd them in there. Next thing you want to do is set up the power pack and the ground so you can energize the fence. This right here is the power pack, which has a solar panel inside them, or inside are two batteries, and the black clamp goes to the ground, the red clamp goes to the fence. So what we're going to do is go ahead and install the ground, and the ground is just a long metal post, and so I just use a hammer, and I think you want to get it in at least 8 to 10 inches or so down into the ground. That's probably good enough. And then go ahead and attach the ground, the black clamp to the ground, and the red clamp to the fence. So the only other thing you have to do is just turn it on. The on and off button's right here, and it's done. So the last thing you want to do is to go ahead and tear down your old fence and make sure that you put it away neatly, so that way it'll be easy to set it back up. When you're taking down the fence, first thing you want to do is go ahead and take out the end posts. So go ahead and pull these out, set them aside. I undid all the end posts, and now I'm going to go ahead and pull the fence down. So you start at one end, and what you're going to want to do is basically come to the side like this. The important thing is to keep the posts together. So see how I'm just keeping these posts together? Just let the fence part hang. Sometimes you'll get to the point where you can't just pull it out of the ground in some of the harder ground. So once you've bundled all the posts together, go ahead and roll up the posts and the fence. And then I set a string out, which that actually comes with the fencing. Put that on top. And then go ahead and bundle that together so you can put it away for storage.